Hello my fellow adventurers, and welcome back to Living the Grand Adventure. I'm Kevin, and today for you I have the long-awaited review of the Naturehike Mongar 2 tent. I've had that tent for about 6 months now, since August. It's seen some rain, some wind, and plenty of weather, so I feel confident in giving you a clear, honest review of that particular tent. For your consideration, the Naturehike Mongar 2 tent. Let me know if this is something you may be looking forward to using on the trail in 2020. This is the Naturehike Mongar 2 tent. You've seen it a number of times on the channel. I've had it on multiple trips. Just kind of finally wanted to give a final review on this tent and go over some of the specs and let you know what I really think about the tent and whether you should buy it for yourself or maybe look for something else. I'm going to go over different configurations and different ways that you can utilize the versatility of this tent on the trail. So the Mongar 2 tent does consist of multiple layers of protection and is a very versatile tent. We'll go through the different configurations and setup in just a moment, but I'm going over a few specs with you. So the material of this tent, basically the rain fly, the bottom of the inner tent, as well as the ground mat itself, is 20D ripstop nylon. It's silicone coated to give it a little bit more protection as well as make it more durable. The poles for this tent are actually a 2Y setup with a bridge across the middle. I'll show you that here in just a moment. It is made of aluminum. It's the 7001 aluminum style, as well as the tent pegs that come with it are the same type of aluminum. The total weight for this tent is 4.6 pounds, which is 2.1 kilograms. Pack size, when you take it down and place it inside the pack, it collapses down to 19.7 by 5.9 inches. The waterproofing they actually use with this tent is 4000 mm. It definitely does work. I've had this tent in multiple rain showers. If you remember my Brookville video, I actually saw a little over an inch of rain in about 10 hours on the trail there. Never had a leak. This tent works wonderful in the rain and wind. I've actually had quite a bit of wind, and it works perfectly. So taking a look at it, if you'll notice, let's step over here in the light just a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. Right in here is one of the perfect examples of what type of seam this has. It's double stitched. It's also tape sealed. Every stitch I've ever seen and every crease has been like that. Also on the rain fly, to prevent condensation, you do have two on either side. These are actually vents, and that does work really well. I've never had a problem in condensation. I've had this tent in 90-degree weather and slept at 70 degrees at night when it was 85% humidity, and also during the winter when it was about 22 degrees outside. Now there, of course, are multiple tie-outs. As you notice here, we have a 3 grommet section here. Each layer has a grommet that ties to it in 4 corners. Also, there are 4 guidelines that do come out from the tent with the new style slip right here, showing you what it looks like. You do have 2 tie points each side of the tent to prevent condensation once again. Each side of the tent does have a D-swinging door. Right there, this is the back side right now, and it does have a very large vestibule on either side. This is a 2-person tent. Very comfortable for 1 person, and it's kind of cozy for 2. Me and Jenny have both actually slept in this tent a number of times and not had any problems. This gives you a good idea what the door looks like. Kind of zips down in the D shape and opens up the tent really wide for you to be able to get in there and everything. But yes, this is what the tent looks like, all configured, everything put together. We'll go inside for just a moment. Okay, inside the tent, we do have a pouch on either side. Also above you, there is a gear loft where you can store maybe a cell phone, put your keys, whatever. There is also a hook here. I hang my lantern on there. Now for multiple nights when you have wind, there are tie-offs for each one of the actual poles. I've never really had to use those. I've not seen super heavy wind, but I have had it in gusts up to 30 miles an hour. And of course, This is actually really nice to sleep on. It's cool in the summer and it's warm in the winter. I've not had any problems with that. So it's really awesome. Really nice tent. So what I'm going to do now is step out and we'll break it down into different configurations and show you what the weight of those are and how versatile this tent really is. Also, something that's really awesome about this tent is that you can go ahead and put it completely together like I have right now, and it is freestanding. So if you kind of set it up and you don't find that where you have it you like, you can actually move it across your campsite, no problem. So definitely being on trail with a freestanding tent can come in handy if you've set up your site and decide you don't like the way you have it, or if you notice there could be possible runoff from a certain area and you can get you wet inside your tent, you can pick the tent up and just move it without having to take it down. So guys, this is another way you can set up the tent, showing its versatility. This is of course just the rain fly with the poles, the ground sheet, and all the stakes are actually on it as well right now. This is great for winter camping. This does only weigh 2.9 pounds, so it's very lightweight for winter. You can take it out as long as you're not expecting heavy snow or heavy rain. You should stay dry in here, no problem. And of course, you don't have to worry about bugs, so you don't need that inner mesh, the tent part. So you should stay pretty dry in here and pretty comfortable. Yeah, it's basically an option that you can take that's lightweight as well, and another configuration that you can use with this tent. Okay guys, so just so you can see how this looks on the inside, basically, you have the ground fly on the ground, and then of course the rain fly above. Using the poles and everything, this sets up really well, and like I said, it is only 2.9 pounds, so it's another lightweight option that you can use with this tent. Take a look here. This is the zipper to the rain fly, one of the doors that actually leads into the vestibule. I just wanted to show you and get a good look at it, that yes, it is sealed and double stitched as well, and they are self-healing YKK. So definitely, really good zippers on this, as well as good seams, and there are Velcros that you can actually put there as well to kind of help seal over this area to keep the tent dry. Okay guys, so this is the second way that you can actually set up this tent. This is the ground sheet with the inner tent, the mesh part of the tent. This comes in handy during the summer if you're in a drier environment, or if you're in a warm night when it's not supposed to rain. You can set this out, set inside the tent and look at the stars without the rain fly. This particular configuration, which includes ground mat, the inner tent, the poles, and the ground stakes, 4 of them, does weigh only 2.7 pounds. So it's definitely lightweight, it's very packable in your pack, and it's another lightweight option that you can do with this tent. Okay, so we're going to take a little bit closer look at this tent as we have it set up here so we can look at the mesh. This is a B3 breathable mesh. It does include the no seams idea, where of course you do not have to worry about any bugs getting there. I have never had a problem with bugs being able to get inside the tent itself. Now looking at the pole configuration, this is the 2Y setup, where basically you have this side here, looks like that, basically forms a Y, comes across the top of the tent. You do have a cross beam that goes across to open it up more, and of course being symmetrical, it's the same thing on this side. Also looking at it, it does have 2 de-swinging doors. Basically it's identical on both sides, and there's 2 entrances, which is great for a 2-person tent. And then it does have the bathtub configuration at the bottom to help prevent water going in, and of course it is double stitched and tape sealed as well to prevent moisture from getting inside your tent. Also, I'd like to go ahead and highlight a couple of things while we don't have the rain fly on here in this particular configuration. These particular clasps right here, which are what hold the inner mesh, the inner tent, to the poles, are very sturdy. They're made of a high-grade plastic. I've never had a problem with those. Those snap into place very tightly, and you do not have to worry about those coming loose in a rainstorm or a windstorm. They're held together very well. And also, looking at it, the grommet sections down here, each layer has this, and the poles do go down in that in order to keep them in place. The inner mesh, as well as the inner ground fly, do have stake ports in order to stretch this tent out nice and taut so you're comfortable when you're laying inside. Okay guys, this is your lightest weight setup with any of the pieces of equipment come with this tent. This is the ground sheet pegged out with 4 stakes in the corners. This is a lightweight setup that you can use on trail. Whether it's not supposed to rain and you'd like to look at the stars and lay directly on this ground sheet, or use in conjunction with either a tarp or build yourself a lean-to using poles and brush you find around the campsite. Together with the stakes that are used to put the ground sheet down, this only weighs about 100 grams, which is 4.5 ounces. So this would be a really lightweight option. It also does provide a little bit of protection from the ground, protecting your sleeping bag, your sleep pad, and also, if there's any moisture in the ground, it's not going to seep up through the ground into your sleeping bag and get you wet. This actually works really well. Like I said, definitely an option you can use on trail that's lightweight. Alright, so guys, that's my review on the Mongar 2 tent. It's made by Naturehike. It's a really good tent. You can get it on Amazon right now for $160, which is what I paid for it last August. I've had it on trail probably about 150 miles now, multiple trips, and quite a variety of weather, which is what I really wanted to do before I did a review on it, so you could get a good idea whether this would be a tent you would want to use or pass and find something else. That's your decision based on the information I've given you. Now me, personally, I'll go through some pros and cons. Pros, the tent is not super lightweight, but for a 2-person tent with this type of configuration at 4.6 pounds, I can live with the weight for now. I definitely enjoy sleeping in here. I've been very comfortable in it. The price point, $160, is not bad for this quality of tent. Also, the different configurations, it definitely adds versatility to the tent where you're able to use it multiple ways. Also, the free ground sheet. The ground sheet comes with it. It does not have to be purchased separately. I think that's a plus because most tents nowadays you do have to purchase a ground sheet or make your own, which you could do low cost, but for it to come with it and it's fitted the exact same way with the grommets already in, I think that's just awesome. I think most Naturehike tents actually do that now. A couple of cons. Number one, the tent stakes that come with this. One, there are 12 tie-outs. It only comes with 10 stakes. I don't know why. I actually contacted Naturehike. That's what it's supposed to come with. So that's kind of interesting. Also, the particular stakes that it come with, let me show you these here. Just grab this one here for just a moment. They're very small, very dainty. I have actually broke a number of these. Get it up close for you guys. You can actually see that one's actually kind of bending already somewhat. But I've actually broke, I think, 2 of these, and I've bent 4 of these. So they're really not worth it. If you get this tent, you could use those to start with, but I would recommend going out and purchasing something else, maybe a titanium or something. You can even stick with the aluminum. Just those particular stakes are not very well constructed. And if you hit hard ground, especially like say in August or September when it's really dry, you're going to break your stakes, I guarantee it. Or bend them at least. That's really the only 2 cons I have about the tent, other than the weight. I would like to have a lighter weight tent, but for now this one is working really well for me. Like I said, I've had it in an area where it rained over an inch in 10 hours. The tent did not leak one bit. I stayed perfectly dry. I've never had condensation inside the tent. It's a great tent, guys. So, if this review has helped, definitely check that out. So guys, if you found any information I provided in this video about the Naturehike Mongar 2 to be of use, definitely give me a subscription, a like, a share, and comment and let me know what you think about this particular tent or what your tent of choice on the trail is for 2020. Guys, thank you for watching. Always remember to live your grand adventure to the fullest. We'll see you on the trail in the next video.